Hello guys, so in this video, I basically just designed a new saturation operation. As you can tell, it's quite big. It's using about 140 mixers in the DAW, and that's just for one render, one sound, one pre-master render, whatever you want to use it for. Essentially, the idea behind this project was, I was just on YouTube listening to tracks, Justin Timberlake, Dua Lipa, IGGY, AZALEA, big pop tracks, EDM tracks, hip hop tracks that have over 100 million streams, and they seem to have this really high resolution defined mix that even with the old projects, those older projects that I released the other week, they could easily match a brand new drum and bass track. But with these 100 mil plus stream tracks, I was comparing my new tracks to them, and it's quite close. I mean, the loudness is there, the size is there, but the resolution of the saturation. I mean, if you think about it, most people think saturation is about adding harmonics or gain or drive or voltage. From my perspective, it's more of turning a sound from almost like a 240p or pixel YouTube video to an 8K one. That's the way I see saturation, specifically with these projects. And I noticed that a track from 2002 compared to a brand new drum and bass track in 2025 will sound real, will sound super HD, and it's almost like we're going backwards rather than forwards, especially with the quality of the masters we're getting now. I think the digital domain and the lack of experience and understanding from the producer's end is resulting in boring, plasticky, cold music that's kind of boring to listen to. Like, I could go on UKF and listen to 30 tracks, and only one or two of them will stick out as good. And then I go back to the 2000s, I'll listen to 10 random tracks from there, and each one will hit my ear. My subconscious will be listening to it. I'll have this perspective of interest that I wouldn't have with new tracks, and I think it's mainly down to the quality factor of the sounds. I always see waveforms as like a picture, a moving physical form rather than audio. And I think if you take the pixel density of, let's say, YouTube video, 240p, 480p, 720p, 1080p, all the way up to 16K, whatever, that almost transcribes to what I'm trying to do here in terms of audio resolution. So after listening to these tracks, I went on SoundCloud, I A/B'd my mixdowns and masters to these tracks, and even though the quality was almost there, it was just lacking that fullness, that high quality. It was almost comparing a 1080p video to an 8K one, even though we're going back in time. If you understand what I'm trying to say, it's a bit cliche and kind of like unmusical, but that's basically what I'm trying to grasp. So I sat down and I thought about it, and I was like, what do we want to do? What are we trying to achieve here? And after a couple, I don't know, an hour or two of writing it down, planning it, I came up with this. And the idea was to essentially color in the sound, split it into multiple states, saturate the shit out of it, and almost create that sound of almost like an 8K, 16K picture when you start off with a 240, 480p or even 720p one, which seems to be the standard now. And I don't get, with all the technology and progression we've made in high-end computers and stuff, we're going backwards rather than forwards. And it kind of seems like lazy and uncreative for me. So essentially, like all the projects, you just slap in the stem, you assign it to mixer 1, and you run it through. And I did do about 3 renders through this. It took me about 40 minutes, and the result I got compared to the previous sound I had in the beginning, we're talking about 2,500 renders accumulated. With just 3 renders of this, the sound was almost like on a completely different level. And like I said, I'm not really going to demonstrate these A/B comparisons in these videos, simply because my screen grabber won't allow me. And secondly, if you have any kind of like love or understanding or perspective of knowing what you're doing, you'll instantly look at this project and go, I'm gonna get it, because you'll know what you're gonna get once you render through it. You know what I mean? So essentially, what I did, I took the basic wet dry saturations, the full scale saturations, 100%. I took the external auxes and I designed a 3-tier auxiliary equation, and I tried to factorize it into some sort of quadratic resolution here. And the idea was to take little blocks, refine and sculpt them in separate states, group them, create separate states from the group, and then triangulate them back from the original states into the new states in the third state, and then progressively refine it, and ultimately end up at the end and just smash the shit out of it again with the parallel processing, heat it up, and then make it super loud here. So you get the volume control as well as the density, the detail, and the cutting into the sound. Now, like I said, my other projects will still work and they're still really impressive, and they'll let you match the average EDM or drum and bass or dubstep track quite nicely. But the sound that you're going to get from this one is going to be more of that high-end pop sound that you got from the early 2000s all the way to now. Those 100mm plus tracks that when you listen to it are radio ready and will stand the test of time even 30 years from now. That's the sound this project is going to give you. And like I said, all you have to do is assign to mixer 1 gain stage down to 0 dB VU on the KLAGHELM meter, and just render out the exit node on 142. It is quite good, and like I said, I only did 3 renders for a 4-second, 5-second clip, and it took me 40 minutes. And the comparison between what I had before and after, even though the before was really impressive, this takes it to a whole new level, a whole new echelon that I can't even my brain was like, how the hell is that possible? It's not possible. So like I said, if you get this one and the previous operation, you do 9 of the square shape one and 9 of these, you can get a sound that is incomprehensible to anything else out there at the moment that I've seen anyway. And like I said, I'll plop it on for $10 on Patreon. All you need is KLAGHELM VU, BLUECAT gain utility, NEWFANGLED SATURATE, and KHSMR chain. I will put it in the description. And yeah, so that's all I'm going to talk about today. It's just a really complex saturation operation consisting of 140 mixers, and it's done specifically. This stuff isn't random. I didn't just basically paste in a bunch of saturation nodes like 10 OTTs and 10 sound synthesizers. I have basically created a mathematically sound, scientific operation to process your sounds for you, and you can run it through your samples, your recordings, your pre-masters, your masters, and all you have to do after you render is just clip it in small amounts of gain reduction inside of NEWFANGLED SATURATE to get the average VU up. And the reason it's important to get the average VU up is because there's a lot of gain reduction, compression, and clipping going on in the project that's going to make the sound small deceptively because of the peaks. So you're going to have to squash it against a full scale limiter or clipper to get the average VU level back at 15-17 VU minimum, and that will give you a nice balanced level compared to the reference track. So again, that's it. Thanks for watching.